ATAR, study score, scaling, standardization, ranking, top 4 subjects, bottom 2 subjects, ATAR aggregate. Did you get all that? Hey guys, welcome back to Lisa's Study Guides. I'm Lisa, and if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. I am a VCE English tutor and the founder of Lisa's Study Guides, which is a resource destination for all things English. So I release new videos every single week based on English study tips. So if you wanted to go ahead, I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe just down below and then join the family so that we can all achieve success in English together. So if you're somebody who is just starting VCE or you're curious about how VCE works, then you'll start to hear some of these terms like standardization, moderation, the GAT, the ATAR, and it's a lot to absorb. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to literally break down every component of the ATAR, and there's a lot of steps that contribute to your overall ATAR, and I want to explain this to you so that you can feel confident with your knowledge and understand, why you're doing SACs, why you're doing exams, rather than just, oh, I'm doing them because I need to get a good mark. So that you understand, like, how do these marks actually all come together at the end of the day, and how do I compare with other students, that type of thing. So buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be one hell of a ride. I'm going to start off with the wide angle lens and start looking from the top end of things. And once we've understood the top end of things, we're going to start trickling down and looking at the finer details as we go. I would highly recommend that if you don't understand this stuff the first time round, then rewatch this video, save it somewhere so that you can come back to it later, because I guarantee you that as you go throughout your VCE, this kind of stuff will start to become clearer for you. And sometimes it's only when you actually are doing it, that's when you come to understand it better. So here we go. The ATAR. What is it? It's the Australian Tertiary Admission Rank. It's a ranking system that places you as a student in relation to all other students who have completed their secondary education in Australia that year, with the exclusion of Queensland until 2020. The ATAR score is used by university and tertiary education programs to determine if they will accept you into their course. If you receive an ATAR score of 80, it means that you've performed better than 80% of your peers. Similarly, if you received an ATAR score of 95, it means that you've performed 95% better than your peers. The maximum score of an ATAR is 99.95. The ATAR score is comprised of scores of your 4 highest scoring subjects and 10% of the score from your 2 weakest subjects. Let's go into this in detail. 4 highest scoring subjects. This is also known as the top 4. 100% of the marks from your top 4 subjects contribute to your ATAR. For example, if you achieve as your final study scores, which we'll talk about in a second, 45 for English, 39 methods, 39 chemistry, 40 history revolutions, 35 studio art, 31 PE, then English, methods, chemistry, and history fall into your top 4 subjects. The full score, so 100% of that score, will add up to your ATAR. Therefore, 45 plus 39 plus 39 plus 40. However, we're not quite done yet. Let's look at your bottom 2 subjects. The 2 lowest scoring subjects are studio art and PE. Only 10% of your final study score is added to your ATAR if they fall in the bottom 2 subjects, so 3.5 and 3.1. The total sum we have now is 45, 39, 39, 40, 3.5, 3.1, totaling to 169.6. This final score is your aggregate score, which is what is used to rank you. According to the 2016 ATAR aggregate to ATAR table, you would have achieved an ATAR of 94.3. If you do more than 6 subjects, the lowest scores beyond the 6 will be ignored entirely. So if you also did health and human development and got a 30, this wouldn't be considered. So how do we get a study score? Let's look further into this. The marks I've just mentioned, which contribute to your aggregate score and consequently your ATAR, are scaled study scores. Scaled study scores versus raw study scores. Have you ever wondered how it could be fair for a student to study specialist maths and achieve a study score of 40, another to study further, and also have them achieve a study score of 40? It doesn't seem quite, because the level of maths in specialist maths is far more advanced. The ATAR system understands this, so we do something called scaling. Scaling helps to eliminate the discrepancy in difficulty between all subjects. Scaling is done on raw study scores, which are the initial score you get before any changes in scaling occur. Going back to our student who got a scaled study score of 31 in PE. Their raw study score was 34 and it was scaled down to 31. They also received a scaled study score of 39 in methods. Their raw study score was also 34, but it was scaled up 5 marks. So what does this mean? It gets a little bit complicated here, especially with all the mathematics, but I'll keep it simple. VTAC, the people who judge your scores, have a look at all your other subjects that you studied alongside PE and methods. Where the competition is lower than other subjects, study scores will be adjusted downwards, and where competition is higher in other subjects, study scores will be adjusted upwards. In other words, students who did PE were of below average strength in their other studies, whereas those that chose to study methods were of above average strength. Okay, break. Did you guys get all of that? So again, don't forget, if this is something that's new to you and you're just absorbing it, takes a bit of time for you to really fully comprehend it. I think that for a lot of students, even by the end of year 12, a lot of this stuff isn't stuff that they necessarily understand either. So you're definitely one step ahead if you're watching this video. Don't forget to maybe pop this video in your saved list, because then you can always rewatch it if you need to. So now let's zoom in a little bit now that we've talked about the ATAR and what that means and study scores, and look at how schools contribute to your overall ATAR. So this is a scenario that you're going to come across a lot more than you would think. I just got my SAC results from my text response. It was so hard. Really? My text response was so easy. They gave us the prompt a week before, and so I just went home, wrote up an essay, memorized it, and brought half of it along with me on an A4 cheat sheet. What? Man, when I did my text response SAC, I wasn't allowed to bring anything in, and we only got our SAC prompt during the day of the SAC. I wasn't allowed to bring any resources. So what happens in this case? We all go to different schools, and inevitably this will mean that there's going to be a bit of a discrepancy. But this is where moderation comes into things. Moderation is a process of ensuring that the same assessment standards are applied to students from every school. Statistical moderation is a process for adjusting schools' assessments to the same standard while maintaining the student's rank order given by the school. SAC, I got a B. Oh, really? Well, I could have gotten an A, but she took marks off because of my expression and spelling. You should be in my class. Our teacher does not take off marks for spelling. Really? She mainly just focuses on ideas, so I got an A. As you can see, in both of these situations, one student has been unfairly disadvantaged. In order to implement statistical moderation, we need to have one big test where everyone sits across the board, so at least there's a way to measure everyone's mark on the same level. This is why you have a big exam at the end of the year, and also the GAT. Hey, the GAT's coming up. Do you think we should study for it? Nah, I don't think so. What is it anyway? I'm not really sure. Miss Tran said that we should try our best. Why? Is it for our ATAR? I heard it was for our SAC. I heard that it doesn't make any difference. Yep, people either 1, don't know what the GAT is, or 2, know what the GAT is but don't care. That clip was from one of my very popular videos about the GAT, helping you understand what the GAT is and also giving you a few quick pointers on what you can do to really improve your GAT mark. It's pretty much my GAT hack so that you don't have to study for it, but you can still do really well. So go ahead and check that out. So to reiterate, in order to standardize all students on the same level, there needs to be a test that everyone sits. No matter what subject you're studying, no matter what school you go to, this is how everyone can play fair. The GAT is the general achievement test which helps teachers at schools adjust your SAC marks to a more accurate reflection of your mark, despite differences in assessments and how harsh your teacher marked. We're going to leave it there. I know that you guys will probably have a lot of follow-on questions, and those type of questions are generally, oh, what if I go to a bad school? How does that affect my study score? Or, man, I've got a really bad student in my class who's falling behind. Will that mean that my marks will get pulled down? Things like that. What I really want to preach to you guys is at the end of the day, you just need to focus on yourself. This system for the ATAR and how you achieve your ATAR results has been implemented and has been thought out quite well, and it's worked for the past how many number of years. So don't get too caught up in, oh, how much does my subject scale, or what am I ranked at school and what does this mean for me at the end of the year. A lot of the times you are not going to know until you actually get your results, because every single cohort is different, which means that for every new year, the people that you're going to be ranked against, you've never had information on that beforehand. So don't waste your time kind of asking so many questions about, oh, where am I ranked right now? I'm ranked number 1 at school. What if I drop to a 2? Stuff like that. This is literally things that I hear all the time. So that's why I'm not just pulling crap out of my butt, you know, it's for reals. And I know that the people who end up being really successful in getting their ATAR goal, no matter what that goal is, whether you just need that 70 to get into whatever course it is, or you need that 90 in order to make your family proud and make yourself proud, then do that. But focus on that. Don't get caught up in all of this other talk about VCE and the ATAR. If you do have any questions, then put it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye!